Dobro požalovat, hello everybody and welcome back to Revival Tournament, brought to you by Revival Divisions League, that is us. After an exciting week 1, we are now finally advancing to round 2 of the tournament, and what that exactly means, I will get into a second. First of all, it is a hot 29 degrees Celsius from the outside. The heatwave might just be returning as current trends suggest in Europe. My name is Mathis, and I'm your host for today. The trailer you saw at the beginning was made by the lovely Torsolman, one of our designers. It is uploaded to YouTube, so if you want to rewatch it, which there's good reason to, type !YouTube in the chat and you will be directed right to our channel. Not only will you find the trailer there, but also other videos, including VODs of every live stream. We multi-stream to Twitch and YouTube simultaneously, so all the more reason to head over to our channel and subscribe to not miss out in case Twitch is not your cup of tea. I personally struggle with navigating around VODs on Twitch and YouTube just makes it so much easier. Again, !YouTube in the chat, go subscribe. While you're at it, don't forget about our Discord channel. Use !Discord to join the community in case you want to reach out to or need to read up on the rule set. Everything you may ever need can be found on our Discord server. Last week, we've seen the conclusion to round 1 that enveloped a whole 4 matchups between various teams. So, let me give you the quick rundown in case you're not up to date. In round 1, we had Umbrella meet Invictus, and Umbrella coming out on top in a 2-1 victory. Invictus in round 1 descending to the lower bracket. Joining them is Aegis, who lost 2-0 to Mercy. Elysium beating 2-0, beating Oboy 2-0, will also be advancing to round 2. Oboy sent straight to the lower bracket. Sinners beating Praxis in a 2-1 thriller. Firmly recommend you rewatch that game. That was my personal favorite of week 1. Which has now brought us to the following bracket. X9 and Umbrella will be facing off in round 2, as well as Petroleum and Mercy. Match 3 will be in Serene and Elysium, and 4 is Onyx and Sinners, the schedule on screen right now. The lower bracket currently filled by Invictus, Aegis, Oboy and Praxis. These teams will not be meeting until loser round 2 in case they advance in their respective bracket. The teams that will be joining them in the lower bracket will be decided today, so the losers of round 2 will be descending to losers round 1 and will be meeting these 4 teams that I've just mentioned. So that's the update on the bracket. You might have a couple of questions on how exactly the bracket works with 12 teams in the tournament, and especially what those arrows mean on the bracket you have now seen a couple times on screen. Those indicate where the respective teams have entered the stage, so 8 teams started in round 1, the other 4 in round 2. How did this come about? The seeding was entirely randomized, meaning any team could have skipped round 1. Use the command !challenge in chat if you're not satisfied with just seeing the bracket on screen right now and want to get a better understanding of team placements and what paths are set out for them in the tournament. Results are posted there quicker than on our graphics, since everything is hand designed, and on challenge it only takes me a couple clicks, so do take advantage of what challenge has to offer. What I would like to highlight here is that for the first time we get to see the 4 teams that were granted the privilege of skipping round 1 this week, meaning X9 today, Petroleum, Onyx, and Serene. Before we move on to what is up ahead today, I feel obligated to give a big announcement, or rather a big thank you to our community. The support we've received during our very first week of hosting this event has been absolutely overwhelming. I was praying we would maybe hit 100 viewers at the end of week 4 and week 1 and slowly build on that, but turns out we peaked at over 400 and had a consistent 200 on most of our matches. This has already enabled us to officially become Twitch affiliate. You can give us money now. But beside that, that's beside the point. Thank you very, very, very much. This is a huge step for us, and the next goal, obviously, is to snatch that partner badge. So I'm excited about the future, and this would not be possible without any of you watching and supporting us. So, I promise, I pinky promise from the bottom of my heart, we will try our hardest to provide you with the best imaginable content possible. Enough jibber jabber, let us focus on today. As you can tell by the images on screen as well, I am not the only caster tonight, I am also the humble host and streamer in the background, but that also means that if anything is delayed, scream at me, not my team. For the first time in this tournament, I get to introduce an unfamiliar face to our mostly European and American audience. I specify regions because the good sir that is joining me today is very well known in a different region, but I really don't want to spoil anything and rather have him introduce himself. A heartfelt welcome to my good friend Huntar from Australia. How's it going at this time of day?
Hello, Mathis, and hello, Revival League. Yes, it is your new best friend from Down Under. Very excited to be here watching X9 and Umbrella. Everything is still very foreign to me, so I do apologize. It's going to be a little bit nerve-wracking, but we have some banging sets tonight that I'm just jumping out my seat for. I envision these sets won't differ too far from OCE or any other league as far as idealistic gameplay goes. However, I don't know. What I don't know is who are we expecting to take the series tonight, Mathis?
Between X9 and Umbrella, this is gonna be a really close call. It's even funnier having you on today because we are essentially representing 4 different regions right now. We've got NA East, we've got Russia, we've got Central Europe, and we've got Australia. So I'm really enjoying the diversity here. It's a lot of fun to interact with all of these different regions, and especially Australia. It's just such an underappreciated region. What exact position do you fulfill there? Go on. Yeah, no, go on to someone else. Huntar, go on to someone else from his staff team. That's name came to mind randomly. I apologize severely. Yeah, Huntar, what position do you fulfill there? Because I'm pretty sure this would be super exciting to hear for our audience.
Well, I am the owner of OSL, which is another competitive league, but yes, more so down under. And we definitely expand to other regions as well. Some others being South Asia, Southeast Asia, and Northeast Asia. So you might see some friendly faces amongst different leagues that you guys also participate in. So there's Long that's also involved in OSL, along the likes of Gospel. And I know if you do keep up to date with all of the other tournaments that go as far as nations, we also have like Team Australia participating amongst 2 different other separate teams, so Gospel and 2 Savage. And honestly, it's really it's honestly a honor to be here and just see everybody else from around the world. In all honesty, I know a few names. I know more so the known names. I'm already seeing a fair few familiar faces in the lobby screen as we so speak as well. So honestly, to see this top tier level of gameplay and then contrast it to OCE is actually going to be pretty incredible and interesting to me, honestly.
Oh, you're also just being very humble. My man saying he's the owner of OSL. He's essentially the key figure right now of the entire region there. So come on, if you don't want to do it, then I'll toot your horn. But you deserve it, man. It's fantastic work you're doing there. So if anybody wants to see what Australian comp is like, do definitely check out Oceanic Sacrificial League on Twitch. That's the full name. It's fantastic production as well. And I don't want to spoil too much, but wink wink, there might be an affiliation in the future at some point. But yeah, anyway, let us focus on what's at hand, because we're relatively close to going into this trial. First thing I need to mention, because we have made a couple adjustments to the balancing. As I originally announced, something went wrong when I uploaded to Bans by Daylight, and the perks Vigil and Lucky Break were supposed to be general banned. That means banned on every killer, and they weren't, so they were allowed against every killer in week 1, but they're definitely out of the picture now. And where are we? Updates. Here we go. So, what's now general banned on Killer, Thrill of the Hunt, Forced Hesitation, Deathbound, and Alien Instinct. And the combination of Grim Embrace and Pain Resonance has been banned, as it's been identified too powerful in week 1. And on Survivor, the general bans we have, as already mentioned, Vigil and Lucky Break, but on top of that, Made for This and Autodidact, as well as the combination Metal of Man and Duty of Care. That's the quick rundown to anybody who's trying to compare week 1 and 2 with the perk balancing, etc., etc. So yeah, but the first set we have today, Huntar, we've got... I forgot. Hang on, I have this open. Cenobite, yeah, Cenobite, Dawg, Saloon, X9 pick. What's your experience with that?
Cenobite on DDS. You know, there's another killer on DDS that constantly gets 4Ks that I will not mention because it's actually something that we're not too proud of. But, you know, having Cenobite on DDS is just such a staple, at least within OCE. You typically see him amongst other maps like Wrecker's Yard every now and again, and maybe a few others in the future. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. No hints given there. But no, those tend to be the 2 selective ones that people do tend to evolve around. So It's definitely no new news to me. I've seen this set happen 100,000 times, and honestly, every single one of those, if you were to put them together, I probably still would struggle to put together an ideal set of gameplay of what I'm meant to see. So hopefully, these guys can enlighten me on what really is next to come, as far as what you guys can expect. And oh my, I'm just thinking right now, am I going to see some crazy chain shots? Am I going to, hopefully not see too many 4Ks, because he tends to be a very macro heavy killer sometimes. If you don't stay on top of your game, he really can capitalize in those scenarios and make the survivor's life a little bit difficult. But we do spawn into the map, and it is Angels. And I've heard about Angels, and I've seen Angels. I've actually seen him compete in an old time organization as well that I was a streamer once for. So, not my first time watching this guy, so pretty exciting stuff. I see his win streaks as well on the Twitch, Twitch, so I expect good stuff.
I find that really intriguing, man. I mean, the world's a small place in the end. You never expect these combinations, these connections to have already been pre-established at some point. Yeah. Cenobite, Dawg, Saloon, one of my personal absolute favorite. I love playing against Cenobite oh so much. It's a very technically intense killer. And that's also a note that I will never forget that Ostava once issued about this killer is, if you want to get into the game, play Cenobite. Because with the ability, you get used to also kind of playing nurse a bit. You have that M1 aspect, you have the chase aspect with your power that you need to constantly use. It's a lot of aspects of this killer that's really underappreciated. And that build, Hunter, is devious.
Oh, yeah, it is extremely aggressive. It is very risk to reward sometimes because it does rely on the totems, and if you do manage to find them, you're in for a world full of hurt as far as your killer goes. But we're going to be taking this chase onto Mogger here, who's just ran all the way down into the 5 section of the map, utilizing this water tower to the best of his ability, pre-dropping it instantly, and just going to be playing the check spots here. Going to be dodging the chain very nicely as well, so it's going to extend the chase just a little bit longer, and we can see him just through the cracks, but it's not really going to do us any justice until we do actually hit a chain. Oh, the second time around. How do you like that? Re-releasing the first album. A little bit lag in my end, so I'm struggling to find it. Struggling to actually cast on the rest of his chase here, but I imagine it's going to go through something along the lines of in the minutes, not seconds, because he's putting on the absolute performance right now, but unfortunately, it will catch up with the end, and he will be going down.
That is a fantastic performance by Mogger, or to be exact, that is Darius under a funny little nickname. And you have to keep in mind, this is Russia playing against NA East, so the ping is in the... what's the rough estimate here? I think 130 to 150, because obviously the ping doesn't represent it too well, the number that you see that the killer has, because you have to keep in mind that killer and survivor both have to connect to their server, so you kind of have to run the additions through your head. But that is a very powerful chase by Darius right from the get-go, especially when that chase is so important at the start, where the survivors have to get rid of the totems. And we already see crowd control and ruin eliminated from the trial. Only Wretched Fate is up right now, but we see Hardwell most likely already operating or getting done of that. Yeah, there we go, making quick work of that third Hex totem as the Unhook comes through as well. So that's 3 hexes down, about to be 2 generators for the survivor side as well. But Angel still has an ace up in sleeve, and that's the perk I'm eyeing at the top there with Pentimento. And right now, obviously, Angel's trying to tunnel out Darius as fast as he can. It would turn the tide in this trial, needs to get this elimination, misses another chain, however. And that is Darius with a lot of distance now established between himself and our killer Angels.
You're really making Angels work for this one at the moment. Playing the check spots over at the save point as well. Just going to be mending himself and probably even... Oh, hang on a second. I think we're also onto the James there, just getting hit by the chain. So we've diverted the chase just momentarily back to the corner of 11. And all of a sudden now we are at the toilet pallet, the infamous toilet pallet. What can we make of it here? It does go down, and we are going to be trying to vault it. But unfortunately, our Bill just going down straight after vaulting that pallet. Now we're going to be picking him up and probably getting a hook here on backside 11 off 1. But it's an interesting one. You work with what you're given, I guess. But it's just going to be hooked straight into the basement. And I dare say we're going to be playing pretty defensive around this section of the map now, given the scenario that we've been allocated towards our killer here.
I mean, I think it makes sense to have those 3 perks all activated by gen progress, so you repair half a gen, you get 3 bombs in your arsenal, that's pretty funny. Ada's got 3 penties up! I don't think I've ever seen that, and it's all around basement, right where Grenout. That is, it's our Team Umbrella, yeah, being a bit sneaky. They really don't want you, Hunter, to get used to any of these names, because Grenout and Dare Eyes appreciate their funny little nicknames with Mogger and James for some reason. So yeah, James is Grenout, Mogger is Dare Eyes. That's the names that everybody is familiar with, I presume, in our audience at least. Oh, a good 90 to 95%. But this is extremely grim. I can imagine right here the survivors would just power through these generators, because you see Hardwell already. Is he lagging out? Don't tell me he's lagging out.
Oh.
Is he just running into the wall? I can't tell. He might be in the... I think he's just in the camera, and it just looks a bit goofy on Spectator. Never mind. But that's an issue now, because that's 4 gens pops, NEDCs. So, by definition, that would mean that is all survivors escaping now.
That's rough. It was good getting to the good bits as well, because it was a mid to late game. You know, you didn't really know if you could capitalize on any sort of mistakes that would have happened later on. Oh, that's just, it's really annoying, yeah, because obviously by rulebook, that's how it would initially go, is you just prioritize the fact that the match wasn't over. The survivors all left in the trial. There's the what if buts and maybes, like what if the killer didn't get a hook, but what if he did? What if he did 4K? Oh, that is just so messy, and you hate to see it.
Yeah, and this is also another issue of being the streamer and the cast and everything, because I know I also have to deal with this in the background. Of course, I've got my staff available, but I need to make these calls, so we'll have to see. 1, 2.
He had 3 stacks of Pentimento as well. He would have never wanted to give that up. That was, you pointed it out, like being one of those things that you never really see, and I will also just raise my hand and say that I've never seen that either. Just to put that in retrospect for everybody sitting and watching, that is a debuff on the repair speed by 30%, a debuff on the healing by 30%, and recovery speed by 30%. Unless the values have changed, unless it works in a different way now, could be just spitball and just rubbish and nonsense at the moment. But regardless, it's a lot of regression at that current time. It's and that chase at the start was just beautiful. I mean, beautiful stuff from. Oh, who'd you say Mogger was? I do call it Derize, yeah. Okay, I got that one right. But yeah, no, just taking Angels on a run over at corner 5. Just ultimately did catch up with him in the end, but it was just inevitable at that point. Did have a good chase around main as well with his duo Grenout. So, I don't know. I don't know what happens from here on out.
Oh yeah, this is really rough, because I am looking at the X9 chat in the background, and yeah, Angel's entire PC just shut down. It wasn't a DVD issue. He said he'll be back on the game in 3 minutes, so yeah, that's what we'll have to operate by. But yeah, I mean, what we can really say now is sorry it happened, because that would have been such an exciting endgame, as you pointed out, with 3 penties there. Man, the basement. That would have also been... Because, the main thing about this, yeah, because we're trying a bit of a unique... We're trying some kind of unique balancing here, right? With, I mean, you're seeing the perks that are allowed that typically you would never see in a comp environment. Also, the chest that Darius had available here helped him quite a bit, I can imagine, and that's thanks to the lucky coin that the survivors also get to bring, so no cut coin. And yeah, this is really annoying, because I want to see the results, collect the data, if the balancing is accurate with my 6 to 10 stage average that I would like to see. And I'm pretty sure we would have been right in that zone as well. Also, I'm just shocked how Darius was able to get this vault on 150-ish MS. So yeah, as someone who likes to play a lot of public games in Australia, then I know what I'm talking about when I mention ping. But because I've experienced it firsthand quite a couple times. I mean, Hunter, you probably have as well whenever I take you hostage to Europe. But yeah, that is the unfortunate end to round 1, or not round 1, sorry, to match 1, and we'll be back with, or the next game you'll see is gonna be, yeah, with Umbrella on Killer. Currently also just trying to figure out. We're gonna try to award all stages on the bill, most likely. So that's... We'll have to see what the teams agree on. Because obviously, what this would be, by average, by rule book, by common consensus, is Killer DC'd way too far into the trial. Obviously, you could replay it, but that would be really unfair, because anything can happen at that point. Umbrella could never have that fantastic start they had. Angels could not have that 3 penties around basement again. So the only thing that we are now unfortunately forced to go with is that Angels has to, quote-unquote, forfeit the result, the status quo he had at that point. The, what would that be in Latin? The status ante is before status... Yeah, status quo ante. DC. Yeah, that's actually spot on. So that would be 2 stages, 2 fresh 5 hooks. We'll consider Bill as sacrificed in basement. And because I don't think... Oh, that's the most realistic outcome. That's what X9 and Umbrella agree on in the background. And now we are trying our hardest to set up the lobby in the background. But yeah, Hunter, what do you think? Is that a good result to finish this off with, or a bit underwhelming?
No, that's the fairest kind of result you can expect from a match where there's just too many if, buts, and maybes at that point. Especially considering the fact that it is underneath your average that you have set, but at the same time, it's a respectable result. It's a workable result. It's not a result where you kind of been allocated it and you just have to accept the fact that you're going into the next match in with your head down and the potential of just losing it all. Like that there's no chance. There is a chance. It's going to take some work. 4-stage win condition is just no joke in any capacity, but it's doable. We've seen it been done before.
And especially now with the calibers of teams that we're hosting today, I would not put it past X9 to actually pull this off. Because this is exactly something that Umbrella would pull off too, if they were pushed into a corner this precarious. So really anything is still up in the air. We have by now managed to set up the lobby, but the Angels is restarting his PC, so it's gonna take a little minute, so you'll just have to endure me and Hunter in the meantime. So yeah, looking into the games, I mean, I can quickly go ahead and just talk about the matchups we have today in general, if anyone's curious to see that. We've got X9 Umbrella today, obviously. Then we've got Petroleum and Mercy, Serena and Elysium, and Onyx and Sinners overall. So yeah, if one of your favorite teams have been mentioned there, then exclamation mark Discord in the chat, lads, or exclamation mark challenge, there you'll get the schedule, and, oh no, the schedule you only get on Discord, you get the results on challenge. Fair enough. But yeah, do head on over to our Discord if you want to reach out to us, get the latest updates on the tournament, see how well your favorite team is performing, and most importantly, when they get to play, when you get to tune in on this very Twitch or YouTube broadcast as well, because again, we are multi-streaming to YouTube, so the channel name is the exact same. Revival Divisions League over on YouTube if you want to watch that, if you want to watch from a different website, that is. So yeah, we've spoken, we had a bit of a short pre-game show, so we've spoken plenty about Cenobite. What about that second set, Hunter? Is Dredge on Midwich Elementary School something you see much in OC as well?
All the time. There's the substitute map of do we put him on Hawkins, and the initial answer is no. And second time I reiterate no. So we just tend to keep him on to Midwich, and honestly, the results are vary from mid to low tier 4Ks, honestly, because we allowed Field Recorder, we allowed Ruin, all in the same instance. Even with the amount of leniency we gave survivors, it was just proving way too difficult, especially amongst those ping sets where it really did matter, where there were just microseconds involved between making a vault and not making a vault, or trying to play around the remnant. And then just in Nightfall, it happened consecutively at the start of the game and then back to back to back. It just proved to be a little bit too hard for our teams to personally overcome. And there were a few times where there were outs. Don't get me wrong. They're obviously granted, because, Dredge, tier 3 and below. I know he's a tier 4 this time and not tier 5. And typically you see him amongst tier 5 in specifically EU and NA. But tier 4 this time, You do tend to see outs, obviously, but 4K2, 4K1 was a consistent result amongst probably Season 4 and Season 3 until we got it right, at least somewhat in Season 4. Season 5, sorry. Of OSL, obviously.
Yeah, I'm happy you point out the average result you see on the killer, because that's exactly why I've decided to change things up, especially for Dredge, because I also just get tired of the constant 4K1 to 4K3 every single game. You get a very, very rare mythical gacha game pull of seeing an 8-stage, maybe, but that's only if something majorly went wrong, or the survivors just had God RNG, because Midwich is one of those maps that are heavily, or like any other map really, but I feel Midwich is one of the maps punished harder if the RNG is not exactly what you want to say, because especially those safe pallets you get downstairs are subject to RNG, so you can get anything from none to all of them. And that is kind of ridiculous. That's something I had to go through myself when I played a tournament against Invictus with Oh-Boy. They got both the safe pallets and my team got neither. So that was a bit, I mean, obviously they're also 50 times better than us, but the odds were already, but outside of the game, the odds were already against us, and once we went loaded into the trial, DVD just gave us an extra, kick in the behind. So decided to not give us any hope for that game. But yes, I'm glad to finally announce the good news. We are loading into the next trial, Hunter.
Oh, fingers crossed there's no DCs this time around. You really hate to see it. You really don't want to see it. It's just, it creates such an inconvenience, not to just the players, but to the staff too, considering we have to chalk up the, most realistic result and then just go from there. I mean, in an instance where you're actually not just setting the win condition, you're playing for the win condition, this... it makes it a little bit more messy with the if, buts, and maybes, because it's the fighting chance of who prevails in that sense, obviously having played the first matchup previously. But, you did see back in last match, if you guys were around for it, that there was some incredible chases and some pretty good long ones. Like, obviously, from our tunnel out, that was Darice, and then just Grenouts playing alongside Darice over at main, but unfortunately, we did not see how the basement antics panned out. Therefore, it will be 5 stages, 4-stage win condition for our survivors, 6-stage win condition for our killer. Now, Swatter is going to be the man for the job, as he does venture off here into what we in OSL and OCE call 5. This is, I'm not too sure what you guys call this if you use the same callouts, but we are going to be taking our first chase here around here over at the 5 section, straight on to our Lara Jar.
So this would be 7 in European callouts, but it's awesome that I get to have you here, because this is another perfect example of why I prefer not to have my casters spam callouts. Because there's different interpretations based on region, based on team, etc. So if casters just randomly throw out callouts then it could be very confusing to the audience, which is why we prefer to go by landmarks. Also, Jar is very well versed, seems, in hyping gameplay, because that's the second stun he's got now, and he's probably kicking himself in the butt right now that he's not running Smash It. It's finally going to be the first hit, as Jar unfortunately runs into the box there, but wouldn't have reached that pallet regardless. Also seeing a bit of a different build here. And that's my favorite perk in the game at the very top. Forced Penance! Hunter, what's that going to do for us in the game?
Yeah, it's going to make protection hits a mean thing to be dealing with as we... hold on, I can't... Hold on, sorry, I can't really... Wait, did it... Hold on, maybe he doesn't know. I can't even see the stream right now because it is lagging a little too much on my end. But what do you think it's going to do for us?
I mean, we've already got 2 survivors here with the broken status effect. So, I don't know what just happened there. Everything just went wrong. Jar and Noy was trying to take it for Jar. They all ran into the generator Zarthus was working on. Someone they already popped one, by the way. That's super fast. And I'm seeing it's really unfortunate that Jar is, out of everybody, Jar's the one to be tunneled, because he's got the leader and duty of care. So he was supposed, and the object of obsession. So he was supposed to be the one taking the hits here. I'm not even sure if Jar makes it up here. He could... Oh! What?
Oh no.
What am I watching? Wait, Hunter, you seeing this, yeah?
I'm trying to. It's about 15 frames and very fuzzy for me, and I'm kind of making it out, but we are just going to be still taking chase around here towards the main building, just getting caught by those chains there and just trying to make his way as much distance as possible as we are the current tunnel out here, so we want to evade going down at all costs. Again, just caught over at main here, just looking for the best possible scenario of where to go, and that is going to be Angels down as it does take the chase away from Jar momentarily. So, I mean, for build, yeah, Force Penance getting some extra good value there. You know, crowd control still in the trial. What are you seeing, Mathis? I wish I was seeing what you were seeing. What,
that is Pentimento being lit up.
Oh,
right
true.
next to that hook. Crowd control still in the game, only Rune's been removed from the trial, so... Similar situation even, the hook is in the same area, and we have that Pentimento right on top of that hook.
No, yeah, you are right, and that's going to be a little bit of a mission for ourselves to deal with. Hang on a second, we are going to be, yes, taking chase back onto Jar here, over towards this carriage pallet, looping it and chaining it nicely into the shack here, where it is still blocked. So we have to try and just W away from this and make with much distance as we humanly can all the way to this shop section of the match, just different type of area where we're going to be pre-chopping this pallet on the outside here, playing the mind games. Again, just following up from our killer. What are closing in that distance. Chains coming in as well. Not quite connecting. Yeah, just actually doing fairly good for what it is worth around this section of the map. This is his prioritized death location, so, you know, he's got to make do with whatever he has, and it's not, honestly, not too much. I don't even know if that pallet, yeah, that pallet's not even still up, so it's going to be hooked here, and that's going to be the second stage onto Jar, ever so close to his imminent death, and, you know, when that does happen, depending if we can get this generator over in mid done, it could prove to be troublesome in the 3v1. This could result in a 4K if we're not careful, but again, that would have to result in the other three survivors on the map making crucial mistakes. I don't think they're going to be doing that. I honestly think they definitely can rebound from this, but it is kind of looking like high stages if we are talking from that perspective.
And we have to keep in mind the win condition that's looming over this very set, because, yeah, after that unfortunate DC by Angels, this PC crash, this is getting dangerously close to already winning, especially if Swatter is just gonna hold this hook. Do you see Note however? They have generators in really far progress. Looks like Zarfis is now gonna be the man to run in and come up for the save. And I feel Jar's also the one person they did not want to be in chase, because, yeah, that's duty of care and leader being tunneled at the start of the trial, so it's gonna be really depressing for our survivor team of X9, because that's the one person you want to have available to take hits throughout the trial, to be healed safely. With that, will make it and leader, but Swatter is just not letting it happen whatsoever, as he's become his literal object of obsession, the one that he's trying to tunnel out this trial, so... But yeah, now Swatter is going for the fresh hook stages, knowing fully well that if Zarfis ends up dying, that is the win condition for Team Umbrella in this first Cenobite set. And we do have to keep in mind as well, this is X9's pick, and Umbrella are very, very well known for their Dredge.
Oh, and it sounds scary, honestly, the fact that we're going to be getting there, and we're going to be taking this pick up. I'm just going to be hooking into the basement as well, as we do see another generator pop as a result of it. So as it currently stands, this is going to be 4 stages. We cannot give up any more. Have we won on freshers though? Because we only got 2. We only got 2 last game, didn't we? 2 freshers.
Needs one more.
He needs
Previous
one more.
game was 5 hooks, 2 fresh. Yeah.
True. Yeah. That's true. Sorry, he has 5 stages, so he'd still just need one more. He's still trailing. He is leading by the fresh hooks, but trailing by the overall hook stages. So after an unsuccessful chain, I think he's just going to sit on top of the basement here and try to camp second stage. But our survivors need to be able to pop at least one more generator and manage to get get that survivor out of the basement and just try to get everybody out of the door all at the same time. So going to be able to break this totem in the background there. It's going to be, I'm not too sure which one gone. Is it going to be our Pentimento that we lit up? a little while ago, yeah. So honestly, just working with Force Penance at this point, everything else is kind of gone on the map. We do catch up the reset just happening over there at the shops as well. Again, just sitting on top of the hook, and this is the detrimental cause of dying in the basement here. So going to be body blocking the doorway too to make it even more difficult for our serves, but we're going to have to take a tag, and now we're going to be following up into just the basement party here. We're going to be getting another one as well, but we need to manage to down someone. No, do they get out of this? This is crazy. They actually do. Oh my god. And hang on a second, we are going to be spotting somebody out here in the locker, and that's just going to be them on the hook for the extra stage that we needed. So we're getting a little bit excited, but unfortunately, in the end, it will be Swatter taking away this set for Umbrella.
Oh, that's so unfortunate as well. I noticed what they were trying to do there, because we saw Note enter the locker on the left, and then he swapped the moment Swatter left basement. He slowly exited the locker on the left, slowly entered the one on the right, hoping Swatter might just look into the wrong locker. But I'm pretty sure that wouldn't have gotten Note out regardless. Yeah, he's not rocking Sprint Burst, because yeah, obviously that's banned against this killer. I'm not sure if on time we would have even made it out, but I really appreciate the idea and the plan behind it. It's super unfortunate they weren't able to pull this off. I'm starting to sound really biased towards X9, but you can't but not hype up a play like that. Yeah, Swatter is going to be able to get the down to Zarfus. Angels, our last man standing, currently operating the gate, and it seems like Swatter will be able to intercept this, and that is going to seal the deal. It is going to be a 4K at 0 generators remaining. Obviously playing for the win con here, so this would have been definitely escapes out of the gate had it gone another way, or had they not been limited by that win condition from the previous trial. But yeah, that is going to conclude our first set in an Umbrella win. And again, can't put enough emphasis on this enough. This was X9's pick as well.
Yeah, it's never a good thing to lose your pick. Not exactly what you want when you're going up against a strong team like Umbrella, who will just capitalize on that fact. And now we'll be going into their pick of the Dredge. And honestly, I know nothing about their Dredge. I know nothing about X9's Dredge either, so this should be pretty interesting for me. But, you know, granted that it was picked from Umbrella, I would assume that they are more favorited to take this pick.
Well, they're well known to practically always pick this exact set whenever it's available. You know, I'm surprised that X9 let this happen, because they could have gone on any different map, because this is definitely, because Midwich is definitely the map they're most used to. They could have forced them into Hawkins or even Forgotten Ruins, because that's the 3 maps available in Dredge's map pool. But yeah, before we get into that second set, we do have a couple of highlights, of course, to witness, especially that play at the start that I thought was very curious. I hope you get to see this now, Hunter, now that we've established that the screen share was a bit laggy for you, so we'll be doing a bit of troubleshooting, or in other words, Hunter's going to join on the spectator side of things, so he also gets to spectate the trial live upcoming. Yes. But yeah, I don't know what happened at the start of this trial, really.
Yeah, I think it just caught them off guard in the end, and then they all got broken, and then they all kind of panicked and went into a little bit of a spur. They had to disperse the pressure. With such a low stage win condition to have to meet, I think in the end they just it wasn't the start that it obviously wasn't the start they wanted. They wanted a little bit of a longer chase, more towards a different section of the map. Honestly, and the altruism just was never going to work in any capacity, just having Force Penance in the trial. So yeah, no, Swatter did well to capitalize, and then the shenanigans over in basement, it was looking pretty likely that the survivors could pull back from that, and it was pretty exciting to watch. But I mean, in the end, Swatter just proven to be a little bit too strong in that regard.
Yeah, that basement play is really something we have to look at, because our survivors here are forced to get this unhook. Keep in mind, 5 stages, 2 fresh, and if if Zarfus hits second stage on hook here, that is 5 stages, 3 fresh. And if my math doesn't deceive me here, 3 I think is a greater number than 2, correct me if I'm wrong. So that would have automatically given the win to Umbrella, so they had to make a last-ditch effort here to hopefully make it out. So yeah, we see this really exciting sequence of events. Need to get Huntar into the lobby as well. Sorry, bit of troubleshooting in the background. Yeah. Has he made it? He has made it. Fantastic.
He's not here. No,
okay, yeah, sorry. Sorry from distracting from what's on screen right now. Because yeah, I do want to commentate over this this one last time. If it lets me play it, please. Okay, here we go. So yeah, again, they try to all. We have 3 people lining up. All of the X9 survivors having freshly healed. Will now be lining up for the save. We see Jar make that first attempt, vault over the window. We see X9 no taking that first clobber, gets that speed boost to not go for the unhook, but instead jumps into the locker. Somehow, Jar gets the unhook here before getting cancelled by the M1. They all run out. Shane comes through onto Jar. If he goes down here, that would also be the win condition, because again, there would be 6 stages down. So that would have been, 5, sorry, but it would have been enough had he been sacrificed. So, but we see a fantastic hit take here by our unhookee, being Zarfus, still has a bit of endurance left, having just escaped from that hook, just in time manages to block Swatter, and right here is the deciding moment that gives Swatter that final stage that he needed. Because yeah, here we have Noid, who previously entered that locker on the left, if we remember, then entered the one on the right. What you could have done here, I feel, is he could have stood still in front of that locker on the left, leave the blood pool, or wait for that blood trail to spawn in, then hop into the locker on the right, because then it would have shown Swatter he stayed in that same hook. The way what we have on screen now is the blood pool very obviously leading from the left locker to the right, so Swatter immediately knew what locker he would have been in. But we're already loading into this next trial, so I have to swap over real quick. Didn't even get to catch who it was on Killer, but I'm pretty sure we went into new lobbies, so it will be someone else. I'm gonna have to adjust name mid-game, unfortunately. Sorry. Not to handle if you're casting, producing, etc, etc, etc. It will be Bobo on the Killer.
Yeah. The man himself. Who would have thought? He is gonna be spawning here. Look, I'm pretty sure Midwich communications do tend to be the same, but I won't use them for the sake of obviously, if it turns out that they're different. So we'll be spawning in over our bottom, and now just going to be just traversing through these lockers trying to get our first chase. And we've got to be taking the first chase around to these god pallets here, where we do greet the first one back to the upstairs portion. Not quite too sure who we saw in the distance there, but it is going to be someone momentarily. Yeah, it's going to be Zaphis just taking the first chase of the trial around the long hallway there. Going to be going back into the classrooms to see what he has available, and only a very bad pallet, so he's going to elect to greet that. Doesn't even go for the window there, tries to play around the loop one more time, and ultimately gets resulted in a tag. We are going to be leaving this light clockwork and trying to catch him out off guard, but we do manage to just pre-drop that pallet in time, just create ourselves a little bit more distance there. Going to be pre-dropping all these god pallets like it's hot. It's going to be a little bit difficult for our killer to work around this particular loop for instance, so might even elect to just commit this chase as opposed to leaving it, even though he has the option to leave if he did want to, but I think we're just more than content as we do pre-drop this just in the face of our killer there from another survivor, might I add, as we do play the altruistic hit tanks there. Bobo now trying to play the mind games around those lockers just before the god pallet, but does not do so successfully. That's going to be another vault by Zaphis straight back into the hallway there, where there is this really weird, funky looking pallet that you do tend to see in the hallways, but once both are dropped, can prove to be pretty troublesome for the Dredge.
I'm surprised Bobo hasn't kicked either of these pallets, because as you pointed out, in combination there, bit of a god loop. We've got 2 generators popping here as well simultaneously, aren't we? No, they were doubling the courtyard generator, and once again, what am I watching? They keep taking these chases to the generators that they've been working on actively. We saw the exact same by Zarfus, so they might be following a bit of a strategy, as in, you know what, the best thing to do in shakes is you run to active generators, because that's where your teammates will be, so they can take hits. But yeah, I'm not so sure if that's really beneficial for the progress overall, because yeah, Bobo was able to intercept this generator for a good amount of time here. Costed our survivors a good 20 seconds, I want to say. But it did allow them to take another hit. They pop it in the end. I find it funny that they keep doing this. It's really entertaining to watch. And somehow it paid off too, because we still see everybody standing. We've got 3 injuries, of course. Yeah, Noid's going to be the last man who was originally healthy, will finally take that clobber. That is all 4 survivors injured. And you might now say, Mathis, Dredge, That's a killer that's typically seen in tier 5, right? So there's hardly any healing available. However, in this tournament, Dredge is tier 4. So as you can see very clearly, all of our survivors have 1 or 2 healing perks available. So I wouldn't be surprised if they decided to reset very, very soon here. And Angels is playing this super safe tile fantastically so far. Still, Bobo is struggling to get this first down as they keep running in 4 hit takes. But here we go. Angels will finally be our first man on the ground. And Bobo should be able to profit and start snowballing with his 3 perks that all rely on either a down or a hook. Now with that hook activating Pain Res that he didn't even use, might I add, and pop goes the Weasel. Maybe no Scourge Hook available, and he really didn't have any time to waste, so he had to go with this non-Scourge Hook. And now still has Eruption up available. That is going to accompany him throughout the entire trial, but yeah, he needs to make quick, or he needs to really get integrated back into the overall progression of this trial, because that chase has delayed a considerable amount of time.
It was a very good chase from Angels, definitely. And yeah, even I was a little bit shocked that we didn't utilize our pain resonance. I do believe we had one over in the bottom hallway next to the bathrooms there. So just opting not to use it and going for the hook anyway, just straight in front of us to just save ourselves some time. We did still have like Pop Goes the Weasel to our disposal if we did need it, regardless of the fact that we didn't use pain resonance. But with this being said, that's going to be a ping hit straight through the pallet over at bottom 1. That's going to be note on the floor. Mighty unfortunate stuff as we do pick him up. Now we're going to be getting those pain resonance in a little late in the trial, but better late than never as we do take this hook here. We are going to be just traversing around the map to see where did those screams come from. It's going to be our Jonah Hill, Zaphis, straight off that generator and straight back into the hallways, trying to buy some distance there. Bobo now following up here over towards the music room. It's going to be Angels, who is just sneakily working the piano room generator there. Going to be greeting the pallet very nicely, opting not to throw it, has evaded the tag with the remnant placement down. Do we play the 50-50 mind games? We do, and we do lose it, so we elect to greet the pallet and just try to make a way from this room. Going to be trying to catch him off guard here, and with the locker not being locked, he might just close in the distance just in time to get the down just before the pallet. No, we do get the stun as well, and we win the 50 there, going straight back into the other room next door as soon as we vault that window. And now, playing the fake very nicely, Angel's putting on the Jets right now. He's played an absolutely incredible trial as it currently stands. Again, utilizing that window. Do we make the swing? No, not even with the ping. And that was an ambitious one at that, so just following up the scratch marks again once more, and you can imagine in the background that our survivors will be pumping out generators right now. Angels still running around this hallway, straight back into the pallet there, but ultimately going down just before we get a hit take from Note. It did not pan out the way they envisioned, and if it did, that would have set us up for some great success later on in the trial there, Mathis.
That was the saving grace there. No, it couldn't make it in time, and now we get 2 generators in the meantime. Once again, Bobo not taking this pain res. And I'm pretty sure, I want to say, in this situation, it was the right thing to go with, because they had just barely popped those 2 generators they were working on. So yeah, that pain resonance would have just activated on a generator of 0 progression, or not triggered at all. And we see Bobo does find Zaphis here on this pallet in bathroom, but he had amazing reaction time there. Does not allow Bobo to get that injury. Bobo now on a mission to tunnel out our injured Angels, who doesn't have any second chances available. Jar's gonna take that hit, doesn't have any perk that's gonna allow Angels to get a bit of a boost. And this is also the stage where I start to really enjoy watching Dredge games, because he stops behaving as Dredge and starting more to look like a nurse. Jar takes the down altogether. And Bobo is also just gonna claim this fresh here. Very interestingly. The furthest generator progressed right now is 50. They are doubling it now. He's just gonna claim the pain rest, that's why. He just wants to get a bit of extra info, most likely. No call out by Jar here. Very unfortunate. But decided to not go for Angels here. Probably hoping to just... Oh wow, we get the very aggressive insta-nuke by our injured Angels on Jar. Probably expecting that our killer is forced to go to this generator now, applies the eruption and pop. So I basically nullified all the progress that Snow's been exerting or been achieving so far, and maybe even left them altogether. Yeah, does find Jar, and Angels here once more decides to go for the injured Jar. Wants to get another pop, most likely. But we see Angels coming for that hit take and just parries the hit right away, takes the swing off its trajectory like we're in boxing right now, and just gonna be able to avoid that cross altogether. Bobo not gonna land that hit, and it's gonna go into the wall. So he doesn't even get the tag there immediately. He has to take a couple extra paces to get the tag onto Angels, which wastes a couple precious seconds that he will now have to invest into this chase onto Note, hoping to get a quick down on our Nancy. And yeah, these downs have to come in quickly because we're only 4 stages in, and that last generator had pretty decent progress, and Bobo knows this fully well. Will return right back to Zarfis. Do you think he's going to be able to get any more stages here, or is there... is there no coming back for our killer?
No, he definitely is more than capable of getting stages here. He just needs to commit this chase onto Zarfis now, I think, and needs to actually... you know, take advantage and down him. You really can't afford him to be just playing around and looping you. Yeah, there it is. So playing the Remnant mind games after him not actually making through the doorway there down to the bottom section of the map or anywhere else that's more favorable. We did opt to just stay here in front of the most progressed generator too, so quite an interesting play, but nevertheless, it could have been just the fact that he had nowhere else to run and just kind of thought, you know what, I'll play the 50-50 pallet mind games, I don't mind, but it's going to be a hook onto... Oh, sorry, did you have something you wanted to quickly elaborate on before I get carried away rambling?
Bobo didn't take the pain risk.
No, I didn't see one next to it. Was there one next to it? Which one did we miss?
You know what, I don't pay attention to hooks. The hook placement, maybe you know more about that than I did. But yeah, he didn't have the pain rest there available, so that generator's still gonna remain on 50 if he didn't have pop available, so that's really lucky for Bobo. Oh, we're now in the, what's the ability called again? I don't even know. Nightshade? Am I thinking of Pokemon moves here? Nightfall, close enough.
you are thinking of Pokemon.
gotta stay on the kill up POV, otherwise it's just way too dark. But yeah, I'm glad that Bobo was able to get this hook, but he's still got both of these pallets. I'm glad he's finally getting rid of them, because this setup is just way too powerful if both pallets are up. Bobo playing a fantastic macro game right now, trying to get as many stages in this trial as possible. And yeah, we have to keep in mind again, this is Umbrella's pick, so this is Bobo's bread and butter. Triple alliterations there. You gotta love to see it, or hear it rather. But Angel's generator is very close to popping. I'm not sure if Jar or Bobo made up their mind there on that pallet. Seems like Bobo's just gonna commit to Jar now, hoping to get as many stages as possible. Because if Jar ends up sacrificed, there'll be 7 stages in total, and maybe, just maybe, can squeeze out another cheeky stage in that endgame. Eruption procs, no call out. So that is going to be that last generator interrupted, and it might... I don't think so. Still no pain risk. Yeah, it's not going to allow Bobo to intercept that last generator. Unfortunate, and Note is immediately on that exit gate. And I really wouldn't put it past X9 to try and go for this unhook. Yeah, we already see an ambitious Angels running it down mid like on League of Legends. Or Zarfis, sorry. Hoping to get the unhook here. Already positioning himself. Most likely waiting for his teammates to get the exit gates open first before any plays attempted. And he doesn't really have much to body block here, Huntar. Do you think... What are the odds here for our killer to secure this stage?
I think he honestly should be able to do so. The survivors probably should just take the outs, but at the same time, if they really want to play for the extra stage and they think they need it, they definitely well and truly can. It can result in more stages though, so they have to be extremely careful, especially with Note and Zarfis obviously having 2 stages to spare. It can turn basically what looks like a 7 stage into an 8 stage, which is what we most definitely do not want here. But we do manage to find our survivors playing for it, or at least thinking about it, so I dare say that they're just going to be full sending it, and then 3, 2, 1, everybody go into the hook. Oh. There goes Note, but he does get body blocked from... Sorry, and wait, no, he didn't get the pull there, but we do manage to get it from Zarfis. Now, Zarfis has to be extremely careful here. We just have to be a little bit peepo fat just before the doorway just to intercept the teleportation there over towards 6.
Oh, no.
And ultimately, I'm not too sure if Jar makes it. I think he does. Oh, he does with the extra 15 seconds off the hook, the endurance status effect, so they get 6 stages out the door. They said, screw it, we can definitely play for that, and play for that they did. They managed to get 6 stages. all for a 7-stage win condition for their killer. My god. Okay, wow. I honestly didn't expect that they would go for that. Usually, at least, I'm not too sure amongst other teams within this region, but at least in OCE in Asia, they tend to go, nah, screw that. If we're getting 6 or 7 stages on the Dredge, we're just leaving. And yes, I did the funny joke and I will not be doing it again. But, yeah, no, wow. Incredible stuff from our survivors of X9 there.
Yeah, we're just gonna rewatch this late game play. Also have to point out cheeky little point deduction for Umbrella because they brought the wrong offering. Fantastic. Second time in a row. So, gotta love when they put Putrid Oak on their builds and then end up putting the wrong offering anyway. But yeah, we have to... So that's not a 6 stages, that's a 5.5. So very likely even now that X9 managed to take this back. But yeah, we once again have to appreciate this late game, because Bobo had the perfect setup. It's just so unfortunate that he had to play around 3 healthy survivors, because right here, yeah, we have that basement that he can walk up. I want him to look at it again, yeah. So next to the 2 lockers here on the right-hand side, that door is accessible via the outside, I don't want to say staircase, but the slope, the path up 1 story. So Bobo was expecting though to come from there, which he did, but he's stuck between a rock and a hard place now, because if Bobo decides to block off that entryway entirely, just body blocks it, stands it still in front of it, right? He's allowing Angels and Zarfus to join from the other side, and they would very easily be able to set up a 2-man save here. We have, let's say Zarfus blocks the pathway for Bobo, stands between the hook and the wall, and then Angels just gets the unhook scots-free. So Bobo is forced to make a play here. Unfortunately, cannot body block from any angle here. Super unfortunate that he's been stuck with this hook in the late game. And that is exactly why we see him constantly going back and forth here. So he does spot Note any second now. Be the moment he goes back to this bathroom now. Here we go, Note. He approaches and he can't body block this now. So what he does instead, he gets the hit onto Angels, then perfectly gets the body block onto Note here. Note is not able to get the unhook here. And then Zarfus makes it through, because obviously you've got 3 healthy survivors, one's gonna squeeze through eventually, but he was able to delay it by so long, and then this locker is so far away. We see Jar body blocking here, still has the endurance status effect, which outlasted Bobo as well, so they all make it out in time. Really, really smart decision making by Bobo here. He knew exactly what he had to do, but unfortunately limited by his resources. There's only so much you can do. And yeah, with 3 healthy survivors running in for this unhook in late game, there's nothing much you can stop or deny.
To think once upon a time that passageway that Note came from was just blocked. You could never utilize that, so it would have made, unhooking that hook even worse, like, yeah, back in the day. So, I mean, now having it accessible, it just allowed him to come and approach the hook from a different angle to where he was body blocked. We did still have Zarfus ready to just come in and take that unhook. And yeah, like you said, with the body block just before that by Jar. And then we tried to play around Jar and tried to teleport back to the bottom half of main. Tried to just intercept somebody's just dropping down from, obviously the break of the wall up towards the top of the map. And ultimately, we couldn't catch up to them, and it just ended up with us having to hit Jar, who had the endurance status effect for the longest time. Going upwards from 10 seconds to 15 seconds these days just tends to be so brutal in some instances, especially late game. And this is a clear indication of that. You see it happen right before your eyes, that there was a hook there that should have hypothetically been secured by the killer, at least to my belief. I think it should have been secured, and that's not a fault of Bobo. That's just how the game's been panned out for the past couple of months, years, or whatever. Like, it's just disheartening, because he really would have preferred to have that last stage to make it 7 instead of 6, and just ultimately was not able to hold on to it. And now it just with the penalty that you mentioned as well, changing it to 5.5, there is no more tie condition, or technically no more tie condition. So that means 6 stages will be the win for the killer over at X9. And I just wonder what's going to happen there, Mathis.
Oh, we got tiebreaker in that case. But the one thing I also really want to highlight from the previous game was Jar's chase mid-game, because I feel Bobo had pretty decent momentum with 2 survivors injured here. and both having been hooked. Oh, sorry, not Jar. Angels. My mistake. Angels had a fantastic chase in the middle of this trial. He skips to this room, and then obviously what most survivors try to do here is not even utilize this pallet and immediately just gun it back for this window, which he is able to pull off as well. Bobo vaults after him, hoping to catch up on foot now in time. We see Note come in for this potential body block, backs off a bit because he knows fully well, or both parties know fully well, that Angels is easily going to be able to make another rotation. We see Note run into this room here, and that may have been just that mistake that cost him the valuable 2 seconds that did not allow Note to get this body block. And in the end, we see Angels go down in this corridor due to slight miscommunication. 1 second, that changed it all. But Jar still, with this, still Angels with this chase, really turned the tide. I keep saying Jar because Jar's our upcoming killer for the Dredge in the upcoming trial. That's very exciting.
Yeah, it is. I mean, again, well, fair
Sorry,
enough.
you will not be on spectate. I forgot about that. You'll have to remind me every time because I'm not used to that whatsoever. I hope the screen share is going to work.
No, that is okay. I tried to get sneaky with it and didn't want to, just say it out loud on stream, but it's okay. It's fair enough. I'll make do with what we've been allocated here, and I'll cast to the best of my ability, even if it is really choppy for me. I'm pretty sure I can make something up. You know what? Who needs the conventional story of what you guys see? I can just make it up and just listen along. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, no. Honestly. Wow, it's gonna be close. We said it was gonna be close at the beginning, and I honestly didn't think that Dredge would be this close though. I think we're all under the same impression that Dredge was gonna go to Umbrella and not X9, but I don't want to say anything too preemptively. There's still one more trial to play, and anything's possible. So you'll never hear us say the impossible. Something is impossible. It's always possible. Just going to be hiding out in these lockers here at the beginning of the game, trying to catch somebody out off guard for when he has the means to do so. So just sitting over here towards these corners and just waiting for anybody to just come walking by or crouching by to try and deny the killer instinct there. Not too sure if he can teleport again because he can only teleport 3 times. There he goes, emerges from the lockers, and the scratch marks are leading towards the hallway here where is our Lara. Just going to be dropping these pallets here and trying to buy some distance back to the top half of the map. Not opting to use the God pallet there, so we're going to be opting to use the classrooms. Just, again, Hardwell, hey, we're not going to be able to commit him either. We've opted to go for something a little bit different. So getting a little bit indecisive on the side of Jar, but he did have obviously that instance where it is a small window at the beginning of the game where if you chase something, you can ultimately leave and chase something else if you deem it not in your favor, or deem the first time not in your favor. But we do manage to catch out off guard a healthy Bill, and that's exactly what I was alluding to just moments ago, where now we are all of a sudden in chase back into the courtyard where there's no pallet really to our disposal. Now, can we close the distance in time? As we do look back, we are going to be trying to play the locker mind games and just doubling back into the bottom half, where we know the killer's gone all the way back to somewhere else, and now we are chasing our Nancy of all things. We have dropped the chase. We are trying to get our tags in to get Nightfall up and early very quickly in compensation for the fact there is no field recorder, so maybe just getting tagged momentarily here at this pallet, but it is a pretty strong filler to be working with and can prove to be detrimental. But no, we are going to be losing the mind game there after the remnant placement. That's going to be another tag, and then all of a sudden we are in the night shade or nightfall.
Yeah, okay, keep pulling my leg, mate. Well, yeah, one thing I really want to point out is the perk that Jar is running, because that's looking really attractive for this trial. Dragon's Grip on Dredge. I can understand very well why this perk would be amazing, because, I mean, you can just TP right back to the generator that somebody's screamed at. What is that firecracker out of the locker? I can't believe that was perfect timing. And it seems like Jar has been completely disoriented by it. He's trying to reconnect to the survivor that he's just lost. He will be back on Le Magic. Not entirely sure. I do not remember who was the author of that firecracker drop. But yeah, now he's stuck outside on this clock tower. The 2 pallets that he has available. Is he gonna build his little house? His humble abode. That's 1 pallet down. Is Le Magic gonna use the other one as well? Seems like it. He's gonna escape it regardless, because Jar ends up just destroying it. Pikz immediately coming in for that next body block. Our survivors taking full advantage of the healing perks they have at their disposal. He's trying to teleport ahead of him, but unfortunately too many locked lockers on the map, so he will not be able to transcend into nurse status just now. Just yet. Swatter close to popping that next generator. I can imagine Hardwell is going to be the next one in chase it to take that hit. And I'm really enjoying the strategy that Umbrella are pulling up with here, because in essence what they're doing right now is one person takes a hit, immediately runs back to courtyard, and they know fully well that the Dredge will not be able to get around any survivor that is stuck on one of these doors. Obviously, sooner or later you do run out of health states, so that is 3 survivors injured. And yeah, there's no painers available, so I'm hoping for on Jar's behalf that he makes it back to Swatter's generator, knows exactly which one he's working on, and he does get it. Are we gonna see some Dragon Script value here? Oh, that would be super exciting. Is Jar gonna leave him? He's not. So he's committing to the chase on the one healthy survivor we have. I'm so curious to see if anyone's gonna start screaming momentarily. What do you think? Are we gonna get someone back on that generator, or are survivors expecting it?
Well, the survivors probably won't expect it. I would say that they wouldn't, but regardless, that is a beautiful remnant placement and the result of a tag onto Pikz there, who's just forced off the clock tower back into the bottom half, where we do see the rotation ready for that generator there as we do emerge. Going to be following up here back onto Swatter, who, again, probably has just done the jiggy and left away entirely, and then we're straight back on the hook trying to camp out the second stage. So no Dragon Script value at the moment, as we are just kind of sitting limbo around the hook and just trying to force that second stage for the mid to late game, and that'll aid us in the tunnel out, especially if we can get it quickly. It is very close to being second stage, so it makes sense to kind of sit around here. There's no real reason to overcommit anybody that you see at this point, especially with it being so far pushed into the back corner of that classroom. But we've left just preemptively, maybe going to get the down onto Pikz, and we are going to be getting the down onto Pikz after pre-dropping this very short filler here. Didn't really have much to go on. He probably didn't anticipate that the killer was going to leave slightly before the second stage. Now we do see LeMagic Hardwell hit the second stage. And after the pull, now going to have to try to evade the killer at all costs. We do manage to find Swatter there, but the scratch marks have dobbed in our tunnel out, who has tried to just hide and just run for your life at this point. We don't have any bodies accessible to us at this time as well, considering the fact that everybody is currently injured. We are going to be playing around the library bookshelves there, kind of getting stuck between the generator and the pallet. But all of a sudden, do we break the pallet and zone them into the back side of the wall? We only have one more pallet to be working with at our disposal, and we ultimately go down at the next one. That's heartbreaking, because the pallet save, and nobody saw that coming. Well, I didn't see it coming. Maybe Mathis did.
No.
Did you see the... No? Oh, well, then we're off to the races here, straight back on the tunnel out. Hardwell really has to last here. Just playing so aggressive on a pallet stun while injured is absolutely incredible. Unless it was Pikz that got it. I didn't manage to see who got that pallet save, but unfortunately, Hardwell is going to be going down, and I don't think there's going to be anyone here for his save this time around, as he does get slapped on the hook there, and then we're straight back on the case here as far as Jar goes. And he can't sit comfortably, considering the fact that he did get a tunnel out now at 3 generators remaining, 4 stages in hand. He doesn't have much to do now, and it's looking pretty grim for the serves.
Yeah, I find whatever happened with Pikz earlier was so questionable, because we had Hardwell on hook right upstairs and Pikz working the generator right below him. And with Dredge's Husk, whenever you start challenging it, you get killer instinct. So Jar knew that entire time that somebody was working on it. So I'm confused why they committed to that, because obviously with an injured Pikz right downstairs, Jar is downstairs in a blink of an eye, so Pikz just donating a hook station. Maybe our survivors of Umbrella assumed that this is the only realistic way they could ever get Hardwell out, sort of offering a human sacrifice or an entire hook state as a sacrifice, just so they could get that unhook onto Hardwell. And yeah, this is a patience game right here, if I haven't seen one. Oh, how did he not get it? Again, keep in mind this is on ping, this is Russia 2NA. Oh, Pikz and Georgia, sorry. But how did that not hit? And then yeah, you kind of just have to commit to one side. Oh, I don't think he has an angle. Super unfortunate for Swatter here. He's shaking his head. That is 5 stages in. And keep in mind, after the penalty, that is 5.5 that Jar has to meet. So, one more stage, and this would be the ultimate win for X9 in Umbrella's set, so they would be taking each other's sets. Exactly what you love to see. And that would also translate into Tiebreaker. Mastermind Call Tower 1. But yeah, I don't want to talk too much about it, because obviously we do have a game still on our hand. Jar needs to get one more hook stage. But if any of you have ever watched a Dredge game, then the caster most likely will have told you 3v1 against Dredge, that's GG. That's really rough to see. Keep in mind again, healing perks allowed, so we might see a bit of a different result here, but it's looking exceptionally grim for our Survivor team here.
Yeah, 100% Mathis. I mean, not really much they can really do besides try to last to the best of their ability with everybody injured in the trial, meaning Nightfall is going to be coming back quicker. And as we are just doing our rounds check here, Survivor's back in Nightfall, our killer in Nightfall as well. It's going to make it a little bit easier for him to get the down if he does need to use the teleportation of the lockers there. But we are just going to be going down in this classroom here. I picked straight back on the floor. Nobody to his save. Oh, it's just going to be the 6th stage and the win going, oh, well, the win of the set, I guess, going to X9. So it will be 1 apiece. Taking each other's pick. I don't know how to feel about it, honestly. And now we're going to be going into the tiebreaker, which was just like a mutual agreement between both sides. This is exactly what you want in a best of 3 like this, Mathis.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the more content we get between X9 and Umbrella, the better. Everybody agrees. Obviously, you would want your favorite team to win in a 2-0 stomp, but I appreciate the thrillers. And Umbrella have so far always put up a tiebreaker, and we see the Magic just gonna forfeit the set, because, yeah, obviously it's over. So, yeah. A 4K on 2 compared to 6 stages in the previous game. That is quite the message to send, especially going into tiebreaker.
Yeah, no, you are right, and I just want to quickly preface by the fact of, you know, we did say that it is possible to 4K1, 4K2 the Dredge sets. I mean, you know, it just comes down to the fact of how you really have your early game set up. I mean, when you contrast the game that was seen here to the game that happened beforehand, both trials side by side, I think what separates them the most is Angel's chases through the mid-game that really set them up for success in the long run. He was just able to last forever and, like, just on certain tiles, more towards the bottom half of the map, and just, yeah, really waste a lot of the killer's time. And in this instance, as far as Jar's game go, he did exceptionally well to utilize his teleportation and remnant placements, and even getting a very, very early tunnel as a result of it as well. So it made it a little bit harder for the survivors to actually pull back from that, considering the fact that, yeah, the mid game chasers just weren't up to par with what you saw last time around. And even looking back on here, just incomplete control of the match. Just the survivors are really struggling at this point, especially since this was like the first hook that had happened. So, which one?
This hook right here. I want to hear your analysis on this, because I've already given mine during the trial. So what do you think is going on here? I pick on the gen down here, Hardwell hooked up here. I pick injured on this far gen. I don't understand the strategy.
They're just trying to press the generators at that point, and he's trying to sneakily do it. It's a very high risk to reward ratio. If he pops that gen and he runs away, it pays off. But at the same time, if the killer catches him out, it just sets them up for failure later on, which is exactly what you saw. Because by this time in this game, if you look at the X9 survivors play, you already had Angels in chase at this point, and he was just putting on the performance. As to opposed of sitting a generator injured and then just ultimately going down. I understand the vision. I think the execution in hindsight was just probably not the greatest, no. Well, it definitely wasn't the greatest as per their result, but yeah.
And again, keep in mind, Jar gets killer instinct on Epic here, so he knew he was on this generator all this time. So this was so risky to do, and we see how it paid off, because if we just continue and skip ahead on the clip just a second, Epic only has this locker pallet here. He has to get this done or he's dead. Doesn't get it, because, I mean, there's like a 1 in 10 chance you get the stun here. And then it just completely backfires, because Epic goes down, Hardware's just hitting second stage here, and we need Swatter now to come in for this rescue. But yeah, that's this part of the trial. We do have a second highlight that I want to cover real quick. The later point in the trial. Yeah, this right here. The pallet save that they are about to get Jar lunging into the bookcase. Very unfortunate.
Hmm.
And then we see him scurry over to this pallet here. Super unsafe as well. It does go down on it. I still can't tell who got this save here. Who even was in position to get this? But someone gets it in time. There's definitely someone in chat correcting us right now. But this is... Had they done this another 3 times, then this could have gone Umbrella's way.
Very true. Although I will say, just moving on from that, I hope we don't leave me behind this time around.
No.
No, that's good. Okay. All right, because I really want to see. No, I really want to see this Wesker set. It's going to be quite interesting. As if we can uphold the integrity of what I've been seeing throughout the whole series, then this one should be a treat to watch and a very close game going down to the absolute wire, which is exactly what you want when obviously watching X9 and Umbrella, like you had mentioned just a little bit beforehand.
What I also find ludicrous is how lucky our 2 teams here got, because they didn't get thrown into Mathis pits of hell regarding map picks, because they ended up with Cold Tower 1 Mastermind. That is a 1 out of 12. Because keep in mind, the way we handle our tiebreaker is that once pick and bans are finished on the first 2 killers, the respective teams pick 2 killers each that get thrown into a pool. And keep in mind, again, every killer has 3 maps available in their pool. And 1 killer and one of their respective maps is selected at random. And they ended up with Mastermind Cold Tower 1. That's... Yeah, the reason why I put Mastermind and Cold Tower on is because it's just such a stable form. It's always fun to watch this killer. And this is also the second time, I think the only repeat killer we've seen so far with the same map, with Mastermind Cold Tower 1 now, because we did see that with Invictus and Umbrella before as well, where Umbrella pulled through. So I'm curious to see especially the stage average we get to see here, because in the last time around, we saw barely 5 to 6 stages. Again, because the balancing is supposed to be rough. Mastermind is tier 2. Even in this balancing, which means no second chances, but all exhaustions and healing perks. Or most, at least. There's still a couple select bans issued on the killer. Very few, but they do exist in case anyone wants to rip my head off. How could you? Mathis, background player. No, background player is also considered a second chance perk. That is not even a second chance perk. That is just considered a bullshit perk. That is banned across the board. So don't you worry, you're never going to see that. Sorry. Sorry to the background player enjoys, but also, no, you do not deserve to have fun. That perk is unfair. Killer finally gets his well-deserved down, and then Survivor's team says, nope, for free, so. But yeah, we're loading to the trial. What do you expect with Mastermind on Cold Tower? What's the experience you've made with your org in OCE?
Oh boy. So it ranges from Weskers who play very safe amongst the initial Cold Tower 3 gen to ones that like to get flicky with it. Now, I don't really know what to expect in this regard. Hopefully, I can see a little bit of a blend of both. And usually when you do see a blend of both, it tends to be pretty good results amongst the board, right? Hopefully something around the middle to high tier stages. I know you just mentioned that there tends to be low stages amongst this killer. And that's completely fine considering the fact that it is a Wesker. And sometimes the map can prove to be pretty detrimental. Yeah, fair enough. But no, honestly, it would be amongst a few other tournaments, I dare say. Like, I think I've been watching a few of them where, you know, it is more towards that 4 to 5 range. But, yeah, no, hopefully not this time around.
And currently the generic start of what you'd see on a Wesker trying to scout the survivors. We're seeing a very aggressive play or strategy by Umbrella here. Typically, what you get to spectate most on Cold Tower is that all 4 survivors camp behind main building, try to see exactly where Wesker spawned, what his pathing is, what side of main he's gonna push into. Wonderful attack here by Angels will score that first hit onto Bobo with a fantastic second dash of his power. And this is starting to look pretty scary onto Bobo, because taking a hit that early on only has balanced landing available. I don't think there was a hill anywhere near, so really even be able to proc this exhaustion perk at the start of this trial. Also, our inner healing and overzealous player, so obviously the player you would want to see on totems. Really nicely using those 2 boxes to avoid getting hit by those dashes. And this is taking much longer than I anticipated originally. You might even make it up main, Hunter.
Definitely does so. Now just following up the chase here on the outside of main, pre-dropping that filler pallet. We are going to be seeing the first generator of the trial proc straight before our eyes, as we do now divert the chase back onto someone a little bit more favorable, just playing a little bit aggressive. This is going to be Swatter, just slammed into the front side of main, where we are electing to use the backside now, where there's the window to our disposal, and that's going to create the extra distance that we need. We are going to be forced to break this doorway here just to make main a little bit more accessible for the later game. But following up with the dashes here, not able to quite catch up to the distance there, as we have just made a lot of it since utilizing that window. Are we going to try and go for the cheeky break, or we have faked it, and we've even gone for the window vault with the power in hand? I dare say this is probably going to be Swatter just going down, unfortunately, after being caught off guard with the power in hand. Jiggied it once, and no, we probably should have just went for the M1, in all honesty. I thought we made it, but we pulled up the power anyway. Regardless, this is going to be Swatter extending his chase just a little bit furthermore. We are going to be seeing Hardwell trying to take another protection hit for our survivors here. So that's going to be him slammed into the wall there, with nothing really to go on other than this pallet here over at 9, next to the done generator here though. So still forever in search of our first stage of this trial, just breaking the line of sight there, and we've been thrown into the boxes. Mighty unfortunate stuff. This may result in the first pain resonance of the trials. We do have agitation in our back pocket if we do need it, which we definitely do. I mean, look at the RNG that we've been allocated on, but we did miss this hook here over in the middle section of the map, where we do get it this time around. We're going to be checking over it too to find the next chase of the game here, but it needs to be quick, I would say, because my god, we've gotten 2 generators done in the span of such short seconds, maybe around like what, 80 seconds, 90 seconds. So now just catching up here onto Swatter, who is just electing to die here over in the corner of 1 after being zone broke. Yeah, just not really much to go on. We are going to be trying to get that M2, just trying to get that pickup without wasting any time. You know, if we do get the M1 down, it's going to take a little bit of time to come out of the recovery phase, and then you have to press a space bar and wait for the pickup animation. This way, we just slam him into the wall, and he's straight back on our shoulders. But we're going to elect to use the pain resonance here. I think the comm may have been to save the pain resonance, but ultimately, Angels having a little bit of a change of heart last second, or maybe you just didn't see the hook over at 1.
We do get that second pain rest though, and that's gonna be Swatter's generator delayed once again. Would have definitely popped by now without those pesky survivors and their pain resonance. So yeah, really important that that Angels is finally able to snowball using his perks now, because this was looking exceptionally grim for our killer at the start of the trial, with our survivors putting up such fantastic chases, especially when Swatter was missed on that tower. We'll definitely look at that again at the end of this after this trial, once the trial has concluded. Does he get this? He doesn't! It's gonna be Darius going down over shack window. And I don't think we're going to have a third generator popping. That is going to be a third stage for Angels. He's just going to say thank you to Darius here, most likely, crawling into basement. You know what, buddy? I am going to hook you basement. I don't need the pain rest just yet. I can make it to the generator in time by myself without the aid of any of my beloved perks. Bobo's generator will be the furthest right to the one that Angels is now dashing to. That is going to be Eruption. That is going to wait 1 second to reapply it on this generator. And I wouldn't put it past him if Angel just held this side of the map now, because he's got 2 super high progress generators on this side of the map here. Mid-map and the one in the corner that Bobo is working on, trying to stop the regression, being super greedy on it, trying to force Angels to make a decision to commit to Bobo as well, to hopefully open up a window for, I was going to say, one of his teammates to go for this unhook, but no, we're going to see a clean 3 split by our survivors, with Bobo on this generator, Hardwell now finally leaving his generator, but Swatter, yeah, just chilling still on main building. Hardwell is going to be the one to make the run for this generator, and yeah, Angels again just holding this side of the map here, because he's regressing 2 generators while also defending this basement hook. Seems like Hardwell is now going to give up. Darius will go second stage, and Bobo is definitely just straight back on this generator, and that is going to be 3 generators pop if they do let this fly. But yeah, it's Darius hitting second stage now. There's absolutely no way that Hardwell makes this in time, right? Yeah, he doesn't. But he is going to go for this very greedy insta-hook after second stage. Do you think this is the right call here to make? Do you think they have enough time to pop all generators by the time he dies?
Don't know. It's going to be close, maybe. We do see the pool in the basement though here. Ooh. And this is going to be
the
slammed into the wall. Yeah, Cardwell, this is what you have to be careful of. Not even too sure what kind of add-ons were being brought into this trial here, but that is commonly done by Beetle, so I don't know if Beetle was actually brought in. I can't really tell without the add-on pictures at the bottom half, as I don't play Wesker myself, but regardless, we're going to be following up here straight back onto Durice, who's just going to be thrown into the edge map there, and that's just mighty unfortunate stuff. We're going to go for that pickup too onto him, so we're getting that
Beetle,
time
yes.
nice and early. He needs to make the pain resonance though. Do we have enough pressure to be worried about? We don't yet. It's just regressed so much. Oh no, we did. Holy. Oh, it's even with agitation, it just proved to be a little bit difficult to get that hook just before the final gen pop. So, going to be seeing our Yuichi in bright yellow. That's going to be Swatter just hopping off that door preemptively. But we want Bobo, as he is worth the most points in this regard. So, stealthing around somewhere in the edge map here. We know he's nearabouts, and then we've seen him with the crows that stopped him in, and the scratch marks as well, leading to the backside of main. This is going to be the final chase of the trial here. All in the meantime, Swatter, after popping that door, is probably going to try and pick up Hardwell, and then if they can manage just to last a little bit longer here over at main,
then break
potentially get the reset. He has to break it. There we go. Accessible a little bit more so, but where did our survivor go? We hear them. Just off in the corner over at 11. Is this the balance landing? Is there balance landing in here? Yeah, there is. And there it is. Off the underway, but unfortunately not enough distance and line of sight being broken. It's going to be our survivor slammed into the boxes after the throw. It's going to be Hardwell straight off the floor and trying to get reset in the background by Swatter, but ultimately, Angels, a little too smart for that. He's going to be trying to push them off and just going to be taking this hook here over at 10. So it's pretty secure. I don't really see a world where this is playable for the other serves left in the trial. But look, I've been proven wrong before.
Also, I can confirm we are rocking Beetle and Egg. Those are the two add-ons, so that would explain the quick 2-tap in basement. But yeah, I mean, Hardware has to get rid of his infection as soon as possible, and they will try to go for Bubble here, because they do not want to give more than these 6 stages already granted to Angels. Hardwell is going to spray here now, most likely. Doesn't matter if Swatter does it or he himself, because, I mean, the info that Angels is going to get here won't really matter that much. Is he going to... Okay, he will commit to this, and Hardwell is completely out of position, hoping to go for Hatch here, maybe? Confused by what the survivors are kicking. Maybe they've decided, yeah, okay, let's just go. Because they might just let him go here. With Hardwell now positioned on Hatch, and yeah, Swatter's also going to make the run. Seems like Hardware's also now in position to go out of this exit gate. He's going to be returning. Yeah, they've given up on it. They will just take the now 8 stages 4 fresh. That is a huge result for Mastermind. Especially on this balancing.
Yeah, definitely, as you would have put it, like before we went into this trial, we were anticipating 4 stages, 5 stages, but I said I wanted to see high stages, mid stages, and that's exactly what I got. You know, in the end, it was 8 stages allocated towards Angels, and he played extremely well for what it's worth. Keen to see what the killer over at Umbrella can really pull out of the hat with this kind of balancing. So it needs 9 stages to win, 8 stages, and we will be replaying the set. Is that correct?
Yep, in case of a tie, we would be replaying the set, yeah, but 8 stages 4 fresh is a pretty specific result to get, I must say. So, we'll have to see. I mean, with 8 stages 4 fresh at that point, you probably just have to 4K. But yeah, let us have a quick look at what we've just been spectating. So we had a fantastic chase at the start by Bobo. Does not manage to get the Angels does not manage to get the down to Angels, instead transfers the chase over to Swatter, who's now going to be running main building, and I'm pretty sure this is where we get this seismic miss by Angels here, or the fantastic dodge, I should rather say, by Swatter, because those happy feet have gone through a decent amount of training there. We saw how masterfully he avoided this dash here as he tries to make it to this tile. We should be looking at it in the next 3 seconds. You said he should have just unwon him. He could have. And here we see this. Oh, wonderful. Into the stun right after as well. That is huge. For Firecracker.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. And he was able to extend that just a little bit longer. It just made it really troublesome for Angels in the early game, but ultimately he did pull it back very well after getting his hook in the basement and just protecting those 2 generators over at 7 and then 1 over at 5. So, you had no real reason to leave. And then just really unfortunate that he wasn't able to get that pain resonance off in the later game. Otherwise, it probably would have been a 4K.
Yeah, and that basement situation, I hope I have this on record. Let's see. At least I have the save at the end. Oh yeah, we do have it. Yeah, right here. So, Hardwell decides to run into this basement. See, Bobo get injured now. And yeah, as you pointed out, he was holding 2 generators simultaneously while also protecting basement. Finally gets the unhook. Angels immediately returns. It's a bit of a big gamble. A bit of a big gamble. It's a really big gamble to go for an unhook right after hitting second stage, because that's just going to allow, or that's just going to grant the killer so much momentum. And if he decides to tunnel him out here, because that's basically 65, 60 seconds lost that you could have let the survivor stay on hook. But obviously there is no telling if our survivors were ever going to be able to get our survivor off this hook later in the trial. So they have to kind of make a play here. But still, they only had 2 generators around main, so realistically, they could have just popped all the generators on the other side of the map.
No, yeah, that is correct.
But yeah, let's just play this out again, because yeah, what happens in the end, Hardwell ends up getting 2-tapped here.
It was just it is that's just Beetle in a nutshell though. You don't bring in Beetle, that's just never a 2-tap. You just slammed into the corner of the wall and you can actually make out through the window there. But when you're thrown into the wall and the killer has the eligibility to just, slowly make his way back up the staircase just before you can even get off the wall and start thinking about running up it, he's just going to down you in every single time, 9 times out of 10. And then getting the consecutive down onto the tunnel out and 2, that's just the icing on top of the cake. Just going to be, taking that pick up and then straight back on the hook. It's just unfortunate. They calculated that perfectly. I will give credit to the survivors. The death location was on par with where it needed to be because he was so far away from that pain resonance. If it was just a little bit closer, it would have just spiraled the game into a state of constant downs and potentially 4K1. So they did really well to manage that, and I can only hope that the killer will uphold the same integrity as last game. So this will be a sight to see, and you can only really hope for the best. But I mean, you were saying again, for those who are just joining us now, that this is typically 4 to 5 stages amongst the tournament, but a little later.
Not that low. 5 to 7, I want to say.
Sorry. 5 to 6. Okay, well, why did I hear 4 to 5? Okay, maybe I'm just.
That's what we had last time. That's why.
it's the 2:30 a.m. brain. That's what we'll chop it down to. But no, regardless, we'll go into more recent events as opposed to me just yapping about useless nonsense. So here's Note spawning over at the bot side, and we'll just flick over to the killer. It's going to be James, aka Durice. Oh, is it Durice? It's Durice. Oh, is it no Grenout? Oh, yeah. Okay. It's gonna be him.
You're not used to these players, okay? I don't blame you whatsoever. You've got a whole different community to take care of.
It's fine. I should know Nate. I definitely know Grenout. I've seen Grenout around for years now. But regardless, going to be taking chase onto Zaphis here, who's just thrown into a whole lot of nothing. And that's the trade-off you run with Beetle. Sometimes you just don't make anything. Trying to get an ambitious swing through that middle tile, but electing to greet it just a little bit more is Zaphis slapping the pallet in his face. That's a stun. It's going to buy him some distance all the way back down to 7, to the point where we're happy to take away the infection hit. With Smash Hit, he just goes down to 7, and we're just happy to chase somebody else. So, you have one more chance to just drop chase after you get a few resources out of the way and just follow up onto another survivor here, which is going to be Jar. Just wrapping around the trees here, trying to make down to the bottom half of the map, and it'll try to use the shack. We do see some scratch marks leading into the shack though, so I'm not too sure what's happening around these parts of the map, but we are forced to drop the shack pallet now and try to make distance all the way down into 7, where it can potentially be gruesome for Jar. After a successful dodge, I think that's just put him in a position. Wait, no, it hasn't, because he just played the check spots around the rock. Very good stuff, and now he gets the blind as well. He's able to make down to the shack once more if he chooses to do so, and does so nicely, does so unscathed, trying to bait out the dash there, but does not work out in his favor.
Oh, that was just masterclass by both sides there. We saw that wonderful use of the check spot. Jar makes it away from that, what used to be the God Rock, but yeah, every tile's been nerfed in the trial. And then Granout with the second dash wants none of that Champions of Light, is just gonna dash right immediately to deny that slowdown that would have given him by just walking normally, and then is perfectly set up for that second dash on Shack Door with the then broken Shack Pallet. And then with a bit of patience, hesitating for a good second there, it's all that mattered, or that he needed to then catch Jar off guard and manages to get the down. But in the meantime, we get 2 generators pop in, so pretty sure that's all the pressure they have now, however. So that is 1 hook for 2 gens, and 9 stages is what Granout has to get. Keep in mind again, that was 4 freshes, 8 stages in the previous trial, meaning Granout has to get either 3 kills or 9 stages with 4 freshes. So that is a tall order, and the latter is most likely going to be a 4K. The former, yeah, you can let 1 guy escape, but you need 3 kills, and that's also going to be really difficult with so much allowed against the Mastermind. It wouldn't be surprised if they get this unhook now last second, since Granout was just distracted, majorly taken really far away from this hook. We see Jar sprint burst right after the unhook as well. Runs away and makes it all the way to main building. But, oh, I think he just missed that second leap. Granout got stuck on the box, and he's not going to be able to vault right after him. Going to lose a lot of distance. Trying to play with the sound effects here a bit, the Terror Raiders, and that may have just been enough. Bit of patience here again, and he managed to get the down onto Jar once more. Wonderful by Granout.
The sound mind games, wow. Incredible stuff there. He's going to be taking the hook there. You saw him spin around in circles over in the corner of that main building there, just trying to really bait out the in and outs of the heartbeat reading and whatnot. So it ultimately did catch Jar off guard. Now, straight back on the case is Zappis. Going to be winning that stun, and again, there's the smash hit value, and he's just running down into deep portion of 6. We do see the rotations for the pool that's going to be... Note, not quite being able to cross point, unfortunately, and now is opting to use this 10 tile where he does make the vault nicely and has brought himself the distance back down to 7, where now Granout is forced to go back to the corner of 1, trying to intercept the hook, and does so successfully. That was looking extremely close to getting iframe there, unfortunately. Now that's going to be Zappis on the floor. Jar up in chase now, trying to utilize the main building to the best of his ability. He does pre-drop the pallet here on the outside and does have the middle of the map to be working with. I'm not too sure that there's anything there anymore. We're trying to catch him off guard through the guts of main. We do manage to catch Note, though, unfortunately, trying to take the body block there for Jar. Now Jar just trying to haul us all the way down into the deep portion of the bottom of the map here, where, again, we've thrown so many pallets in this vicinity. There's access to no shack. There's only access to this drop filler pallet here. Or is there? I don't even remember if we broke it or not, but we're missing a whole lot of dashes on the side of Granout, and now all of a sudden Jar is able to make the pallet here over at 8. Or is he? No! He's been thrown into the boxes, and that's our tunnel out done at 2 generators remaining. Now, if we look at the current scorecard and look at what the situation we've been allocated, yes, we are way ahead as far as the survivors go, but when you look at the scenario that it currently stands, we do have a lot of work to do. There's no pressure on the map, or there's barely any. There's about 50% on that generator there over at 10. I'm not too sure what everything else is looking like. If I get a quick flick around, I don't think... we do see one's about to pop as well, so honestly, might be still doable for the serves. They definitely need to put on the jets here and last a little bit longer in their chases, but again, need to be very efficient with their resources here. We do have Note in chase here, just corner 7, trying to work with this dropped filler pallet here, and it does want to chain it eventually into 8. We do even have the edge map 8 filler pallet that to be working with if we're able to be zoned away, and we are, and there it is. We win the stun as well. That's one popping in the background for those with a keen ear. All our Sennheiser enthusiasts, as once upon a time some other caster used to like to mention, but some nice dodges there. It's going to result in Grenouts just using the bounds on a tree, and ultimately can't down the tree. We do see the double here happening, and an ambitious double. We've pushed them off the generator successfully, and all of a sudden, it's anybody's game here, Mathis.
Yeah, this might have just been the comeback that X9 so desperately needed. Note escaping that chase unscathed. Doesn't even take the injury here, doesn't get the infection applied either after Granout missed so many times. Note redirecting those leaps over and over. He must be pretty decent boxing as well then, if he keeps taking these punches off their trajectory. Fantastic dodging by our survivor. But yeah, Angels might have just, he may have just triggered something in Angels, and he might want to set up his own high score of how many times can I make Grenout miss. That's fantastic. I like that I really like the little nudge there he did. So Grenout just tapped that ability, yeah? Trying to make it look like he was about to use it. Because if you throw a survivor off the hill, they do not get infected. They just drop off at the end. So he was hoping that if he pulls his ability there, Angel is going to stand still, which would have allowed Grenout to get the M1 because of the hesitation. But yeah, Angels knew fully well, just held W, wanted to get to the next tile, so that was very smart by our survivor, who could have taken an M1 there. And M1... no, it takes now, I mean, it's an ability, but it's an injury, and now all of our survivors are injured, so this might be the comeback for Grenout. He's been stunned so many times, I want to say, as well. We had was it Zarfus? Who was the smash hit player? Zarfus, it was Zarfus. Getting 2 for 2 smash hits early in the trial. And now the Z-wall. Are you going to see anything from this? Oh, no.
No. Oh my god, the pressure must be close now as we do take the pick up here onto our Nancy note. Oh, look at that generator there over at 10. It is going to be popping, and this can potentially be the remaining stages out the door. Now, we only have 4 to our name. We needed, near 9? At this moment, he needs... even downing a fresh and camping the fresh isn't going to suffice. So... all in the meantime, in the background, you can anticipate that Zaphis will be going for the pull-on to note there. And after throwing into the corner there, we just have to slug and go back for the unhook in the background. And it's just very fortunate that Zaphis was our adrenaline player who's able to be on a full health state in this very moment, because it just makes it so much easier for the survivors to be working with. That extra health state really does help you in a scenario like this, considering the fact that everybody else on the map was injured at the time. And now, all of a sudden, our killer straight back on the case there onto note. All in the meantime, you do see Zaphis just in the background ready for that pickup. It's going to be green out straight onto note. Just trying to take the chase here over at 10. And that's a lot of distance being made after the line of sight breakage. Some excellent stuff there from note. Is now just opting to die into the corner of 7. Does have the drop filler pallet to be working with. It does slow vault it and forces the grab. That's exactly what you need in a scenario like this. He's forced to drop and go back to the door, but I don't think he makes it in time. That thing is way too far done, and that is going to be 6 stages out the door for the six stage 2 fresh game, and that will be the win of the entire series, going to X9. Incredible stuff. There's no other word to really describe it. Fantastic even, I guess, Mathis.
Yeah, that is going to be a 6 stage to an 8 stage result overall, and it will be X9 taking the lead in this tiebreaker, deciding this set for themselves. So, a very, very close tiebreaker that we've just witnessed. A fantastic performance by both sides, but there can only be one. Let us have a quick recap of the result once more. So both teams popped those 5 generators, but yeah, Umbrella only being able to get 6 stages there, Grenout not being able to match Angel's performance from the previous trial with the 8 stages for Fresh. And also, not to toot my own horn, but both of these results are within the range that I wanted them to be in, so a rare balancing W for me, I guess. But yeah, fantastic. But yeah, that's not where I want to finish this set, because obviously there's still a quick replay that we want to have a look at with Grenout just having played a killer. So let us have a quick look on what we missed or what we want to highlight real quick, and especially this chase here by the chaser that I really want to highlight was the one by Jar here, who makes it all the way, first we've pointed this out, makes it all the way to this lower side of the map, gets hit, takes this original hit on Shaq, makes it to Shaq pallet, drops it, or is forced to, because otherwise he would have gone down there immediately. And then we see him avoid this hit, but that's going to allow Grenout to be in a position where he body blocks the pallet, so Jar has to go around, but plays this check spot masterfully. Doesn't fall for the fake here, doesn't want to get zoned into the corner, gets the blind with that Champions of Light combined with that flashlight. Grenout 1 dash, 1 available, and gets the hit right onto Jar, who will not be escaping And at this point, Grenard was able to claim his first stage. Much better pace, have to say, than what Angels had in his trial here. So there's something I missed that you want to point out here from this chase as well. The check swings, that's something you see your players do much as well. Like this is just fantastic. I want to say textbook check spot, really. Sees across both sides.
No, yeah, it is. I actually didn't even know this. Sorry, that this palette was necessarily here, or it was shaped in this form, rather. I just thought he would have just sent it down into the corner of the map and died over at 7 as opposed to playing around. Yeah, it's just the perception of the Lara in this instance is absolutely incredible to be able to be utilized. I mean, wow. Yeah, no, I honestly just thought they were going to die the corner. That's all. That's usually the play you do see, or at least it's the one that I do see, especially on ping. They opt not to play around those pallets. I think because they're on a little less, when I say on ping, I mean like, I see games of like 250, 260 and stuff like that. So they just don't play this pallet in any regard. They just die in the corners and whatnot. To play this and win it is just crazy to me. But, he actually played it really, really well. And I'm glad that they were able to really capitalize on the fact that, it's just sitting over here at 7. Use it.
Yeah, it's also just so risky playing this, in my opinion, especially considering it's NA to Russia, because you can also just take the down in the corner and you'll be so far away from hooks and gens. But no, Jar decides to play the pallet, wins it, and makes it back to Shaq, where he will ultimately go down, but he gets value out of his Champions of Light, out of his Flashlight. So just with that small decision that he made there, bought so much time, but again, that could have gone completely sideways. Now, that's not the only part of the trial that I want to have a replay for. It's also later in this trial. Oh yeah, Nodes Chase. This is, I want to say, where Grenard's pace fell apart entirely.
Yeah, I mean, after the vault there and missing all the kinds of swings, it was just... You could really feel the pressure start to settle in. Even winning that pallet over at the edge map there, under any circumstance, I just don't think that pallet should be won. But, I mean, if there's anybody to do it in this trial, it definitely was Note. And yeah, that's absolutely insane that it was able to just break away from that. Just not even being hit, not even an injury, or not even in harm's way, realistically. And all in the meantime, in the background, you do see the survivors just slamming out one. And look at him. He's just going on an absolute run. There's just no way the killer really catches up to him. Maybe at the end there, but again, even that's a little bit far-fetched. Yeah, it just takes a lot of skill to be able to work with a pallet like this and then just break away straight back to the loop you started at. Even just dodging there, wow. Just really showcasing the micromanagement and how important the ones are and whatnot. So, yeah, this guy's definitely been in the labs a long time, and it really shows.
Yeah, just fantastic. But yeah, Hunter, that is going to conclude the matchup of today. I want to say a very, very big thank you for joining us today. Is there anything that you want to take away from these trials?
No, yeah, thank you very much for having me. I'll definitely be here again. Hopefully, I'll be able to manage my time a little bit better, and I've really thoroughly enjoyed this. And yeah, thank you for having me. Really do appreciate you and this amazing staff team that you had behind the scenes. Don't let their work go unappreciated. Sorry?
That you're now a part of the staff team?
Yes, of course. Yes. No. I definitely am. And it's an honor to be here.
But yeah, my good man was going to be part of the staff team regardless, sooner or later. It's just, he wanted to jump into caster. I asked him, I was on my knees and begged earlier today, because, I didn't have a co-cast originally, and Huntar decided to jump in, who is one of my absolute favorite casters to listen to whenever I watch OCE, or comp in general, even though I don't really follow many tournaments, but the OCE scene is one of the few tournaments that I do follow, and OSL, especially, Oceanic Sacrificial League. So to everybody who wasn't able to hear this information at the start of the trial, what's up with Oceanic Sacrificial League, Hunter? Where do you, quote-unquote, come from exactly in the comp scene? Because obviously, you're not from these regions. You're neither part of the European or American community. You're part of Australia.
No, yeah, I think if the question is of like, where in particular, what my position is and what I do, I tend to put together the tournament. I'm there casting all the time, reffing, but more so behind the scenes kind of things. do manage to get obviously the 4 big regions of that side of the world involved, being OCE, SEA, NEA, and SA. So if you want the best of the best in those regions, it probably is more than likely just over at OSL. Dispersed amongst different tournaments these days as well. It's good to see them getting involved and whatnot. But, you know, I'll just usually sit behind the scenes, make sure everything's nice and dandy and everything's on display and accessible and watchable for everybody involved. As far as me as a competitor goes, I'm not the greatest competitive player. I have dipped my toes in. I have played a fair bit of tournaments. Never won a respectable tournament title though, to be honest with you. I do compete in them, but you know, there's just people that are far better than me, and I'll do my best to analyze the game, but my main goal is to keep everybody more enticed and attached to the content that they're watching and try to relate to it and put it into a retrospect where it is accessible.
It's a great point you made, because it's about that ability to relate to the players as well. Being an active player tends to make you a better member of the staff team. Or most players, or most people that manage tournaments in general, or at least not from the owner level, typically, or even things in like League of Legends, other games that you see, typically these people start as players, then pick up on production sooner or later, realize, hey, this managing part of competitive play is actually super exciting, super interesting to me. So they tend to transfer over to it. And that's also, I mean, how I got to it, because I also started off as a player, a comp player in 2021, and then picked up on comp really quickly, on casting, really. And then I was adopted into this managerial side of things. And and all my experience is now culminating in this very tournament. So yeah, Huntar, before we sign off, is there anything that you would like to share right at the end?
Not really much, but I'll be around tomorrow, obviously, over at OSL, but I'll definitely be here at a Revival League once more. Not casting tomorrow, unfortunately, but hopefully I am awake for the games, because you have some bangers, obviously, Onyx and Sin. Well, I just missed it there. It was on screen, but I was reading it off of there. Unfortunately, you see it on screen, so it'll be there. I'm pretty sure also Mathis will enlighten you guys on what is yet to come for this tournament and whatnot. But yeah, I'll definitely be around. And yeah, thank you for having me. Realistically, it's been a pleasure.
Been a pleasure likewise, man. Love you. Thank you so much for jumping in. Yeah, you already mentioned that tomorrow we've got Onyx and Sinners, or you were already speaking of the tomorrow. In fact, yes, it is Onyx versus Sinners, and the killers we're starting off with Nurse on Rancid Abattoir, then Blight on Gas Heaven, flashbacks to last week, that I hopefully don't need to see again with the 4K on 4, and Unknown Dead Sands as the tiebreaker, so that's gonna be super exciting to see. But yeah, before we finish off for today, obviously this is the wall of gratitude that I want to share. First of all, again, we've hit affiliate on Twitch, thanks to everybody's support, and I need to give a quick shout out to our already 11 subscribers on the channel. So the 10 founder badges have already been claimed now, so unfortunately you're not going to be able to claim yours any longer. But yeah, our first ever subscriber, Broken Anarchist, who Huntar is very familiar with, because Broken is basically the Pikz of OCE, and the I mean, if you're on our Discord server, you'll know our head Discord bot developer, Fluffy. Basically those two in one. So Broken's done some fantastic work. Most of the graphic design you see in OSL is created by him. So that's awesome that he's one of our founders, or one of our founder badge holders, and also a very dear friend of mine. The longest lasting friendship I have to OC as well since 2023, when I started my comp journey in Australia. And yeah, Broken was one of my first teammates, so that's awesome. Second is Kamahel, one of our future casters as well, so that's pretty cool. Cam does his own streaming, so thank you very much for the subscription. Milay next, you better know her. One of our main key members of the head staff team in the background, in charge of the refereeing and most of the scheduling, and yeah, working out, I want to say like 70% of 70 to 90% of everything management wise behind the screens. So that's absolutely fantastic. I'm very grateful to her. She's done amazing. Then the next subscription, this is the first person. I have no idea who that is. So Mathis WPH, no idea what that's supposed to stand for, but yeah, let's not waste our time on that guy. Then Baha is also one of my friends from Australia, so thank you very much. And next we have Baby Gigs, I think that is. Thank you for subscribing. Hannah too long didn't read. It's one of Milay's friends, as far as I know. Wolfi360, our moderator, so our head mod, so in the Twitch chat. So thank you very much to you as well. Pikz has decided to claim a founder badge too, so thank you for the sub. Hope you enjoy the founder badge. Oats, also another friend of mine from Australia. I'm pretty sure Huntar is guilty of advertising the Smash to plenty of our Australian connections as well. So thank you very much, Oats, for the subscription. And next we have Mornings. Thank you for the Prime 36 minutes ago. And that is all I have to cover for today. So yes, of course, community matters most. So you guys get the shout out first. Thank you very, very much for the subscriptions, for the, you're the first to set us up. So very, very sweet. Thank you guys for your continuous support. We'll be back tomorrow. But yes, besides the community, gotta give the shout out to Pikz, of course, our lead graphic designer, who's providing us with most of what you see on screen. If it's not Pikz, then it's Milay, whom I've already spoken of plenty, but here she is being acknowledged one more time for a very good reason. And yeah, if it's not Milay, then it's me. The perk pack I've redesigned, so I hope you're satisfied with that now. I've changed it from red to white. Should be much easier to see, because I also realized, oh yeah, right, there's perks with cooldowns. So that's already the red you need from our icon on the perk frame. So you have those three colors now. You have the grays, you have the white, and you have the red. So yeah, should be plenty enough to represent our logo. Then, of course, James, my co-owner of the league, who's been doing a lot of management stuff in the background. Fantastic. It's been fantastic working with him. If you've been following overall comp the past 2-3 months, then you'll know very well whom I'm talking about, so needs no further introduction. Then who else do I have available? Then yeah, of course, Trikz in the background and Maxolotl, our referees for this trial, besides Milay, who've been setting up the lobbies and helping me in the background, so thank you very much as well. I'm going to do a quick scan, because I need to make absolutely sure I'm not missing anyone. Flo, who's responsible for the scoreboard, who's already also updated it, because we forgot to implement our rule on the penalties on scoreboard, but now it's consistent. Thank you very much, Flo, for always being available. Yeah, I'm straight up going through the entire list of everybody I have on the team. Hang on. I need to make absolutely sure. Yeah, Fluffy, our Discord dev, but I already shouted him out. Who else? Next, I'm gonna start writing lists. So, no, that's everybody. Okay, cool, perfect. That's everybody covered. So, thank you very, very much for watching, everybody. And this is Mathis signing out. We'll be hopefully raiding someone, because now that we're affiliate, it should work. I'm hoping. But I see that message in the chat, thank you. I'm hoping that it works this time. But yes, gonna finish off with the trailer. Thank you, everybody, very much for tuning in, staying by, and we'll be back tomorrow night. Goodbye.